So what got you into, maybe Gabby first? I haven't done a three-person Zoom call on the interview yet, but here we go.
It's the first time
Um,
for everything.
so, anyway, so Gabby, tell us how you, ladies first. Gabby, how did you get into it?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think I've always been attracted to marketing even as a young child, not really knowing what it was, marketing and sales and this idea of branding. I from a young age, I was always attracted to company logos and
Okay.
colors and design and and I had sort of this photographic memory for the shapes of logos and what the colors were and the taglines and things like that. So it was just maybe something that I kind of naturally gravitated toward. In college, I went to Boston University and I majored in public relations, which is kind of a cousin to marketing.
Yep.
Marketing, advertising, public relations. We're all kind of cousins in that regard. And so I majored in PR. I minored in IR, international relations, and I was actually leaning more towards a job in the foreign service. I wanted to be an attaché at an embassy. I didn't have aspirations to become the ambassador per se, but I wanted to be part of the foreign service. I was very interested in international relations. I speak several languages.
Oh
My
wow.
fam, my parents are both immigrants and come from other countries. I'm first generation American. So the idea of serving my country and being able to work internationally was very attractive to me. But I had a professor in college who told me, Gabby, you're a smart girl. You perform so well in my class. I love your contributions in my class, but I just, I look at you and I see you performing and doing other things. Not that you couldn't do this, not that I'm trying to discourage you, but what's your major? And I said, my major's in PR. He said, I think that's where your strengths are. I think you should focus on communication and marketing and PR and of course if you want to pursue IR, I'll support you, but I really think you should consider that career for yourself. And I asked him, I was actually really hurt and dejected by the answer, but I asked him, I said, why? Why, professor? And he said, look, international relations is a tough gig, and it's a man's world out there, and as someone as bright and vibrant as you're going to get trampled on, you're going to get squashed on, and if you have any intentions of starting a family and having a husband, it's going to be really hard for you to do that in this type of work. And for me, I knew that getting married and having a family was always going to be part of my plan, so that really solidified that career trajectory for me, in the sense of, okay, you know what, I'll focus on the communication. I'll focus on the marketing and advertising. And so I went into that path, and I haven't looked back since. I started off at an ad agent, traditional ad agency in
Okay.
Boston, and it was right around the time that Facebook was being born and coming onto the scene, and all these other social media networks. LinkedIn was pretty nascent. Twitter was growing up, and I know I'm very much dating myself right now.
It's all right.
But I just I got involved in that digital space, and I haven't looked back. And per your introduction, I've worked an agency side. I've worked in house for large corporations here in the Twin Cities, and I've also done some startup work. So that's kind of my path to marketing. And then we
Okay.
can talk later on in the show about how we actually started Proofpoint, which is a story on its own.
Okay. Well, PR is often a way into marketing, is it, for many, many people? It's about communications, and what's marketing and advertising about? It's about communicating, isn't it, really? A message,
Absolutely.
and getting people to sign up. In other words, be convincing and credible. Um, so, Mike, over to you. Just how'd you end up in marketing? Interested in
My
this.
my marketing journey is probably a little shorter than that than Gabby's, in the sense that I also originally was not looking into marketing. I was looking more on the creative side of things, uh, like graphic design and whatnot. And at one point, my parents said, "Well, we're going to pay for college, but we don't think this whole doing pictures on the internet thing is all that. So you should probably go do something with business. I'm like, all right, well, I guess marketing is as close as I can get to that. So marketing it is. So I double majored in marketing and graphic design, thinking I was still going to go the graphic design path. And I very quickly through internships found that, I actually don't want to be in design. It's too subjective and whatnot. So I ended up going into digital marketing, doing some more internships, and Gabby said, never look back.